What is the impact of finding your why? So I can tell you what I went through, which is what set me on the journey to sharing the message of the why and helping people find theirs. A why is like a it's like a compass direction. It tells you where you're going. We can live our lives by accident, which is kind of like getting in a ship and just sailing, or getting in a car and just driving. You'll absolutely see some amazing things. You'll stumble upon some amazing experiences, but you don't really have a sense of where you're going, any sort of direction. In other words, what's it all for? What the why does is it provides a path, it provides a map or a compass. So you will still have some of those amazing experiences, but now they have value and worth, and they're taking you towards something else. It's a journey towards something. When I learned my why, I had this tremendous calm come over me, a sense of my confidence grew, a sense that my life had more meaning than I thought it had before, and I had now the choice, a new way of viewing decisions, a filter through which to make decisions, which now I would ask myself, does this help advance my why or not? Does this help me stay on the path that I'm supposed to be on, or is this going to be a random adventure? So the why provides focus, direction, meaning, and confidence. So once we learn our why, we have the opportunity to apply it in all different parts of our lives. So for jobs, for example, we want to work for a company that our why complements the company's why. We're more likely to fit. We're more likely to feel like we belong. It goes with our friends too, believe it or not. We do it inherently. You know, there's lots of nice people in the world, but we're not friends with everybody in the world. We're friends with the people that we share values with. But sometimes we have people in our lives, let's be honest, that we may have a good time with them, but it's not a deep, meaningful relationship. Knowing your why actually helps you understand why the deep, meaningful relationships are the deep, meaningful relationships. It's a new way of understanding the value of people in our lives. How trust builds. But it's the opportunity is to use it to find things that are more likely to produce joy, success, focus, inspiration, and fulfillment in the decisions we make, the books we read, the people we keep in our lives, where we invest our time and where we invest our energy. You know, we get a limited amount of time in the day and a limited amount of years on the planet. It's the great equalizer. Whether we're rich or poor, we all have 24 hours in a day, and the idea is to get as much out of those hours and as much out of those years as possible. Living your why means that when we make decisions, we are conscientious about having our why front and center, that we consider whether we are helping bring our why to life or advancing our why or not. Look, we can always make the decision not to, but I would rather do that consciously and know why we're choosing to do it. It's like living a healthy lifestyle and choosing to eat chocolate cake. It's totally fine, but you do it with eyes wide open, knowing that you have to work out a little more over the weekend, or you just don't do it that often. So it's the same thing. Why provides that focus and direction, and so we can live with purpose, on purpose. So a good example of what a why sounds like, I'll tell you a story. I did some work with the Disney Imagineers. These are the people who build all the rides, design all the parades, all the shows, the boats, everything like that, the ships. Everything that's not a movie or merchandising, basically, the Imagineers invent it, build it, design it. And I was giving a talk about the why in the Golden Circle to the Imagineers, and somebody asked the same question, which is, can you give us an example of what a why looks like or sounds like? So I picked a random person in the audience, and I asked him to give me a specific story that helps me understand, that really captures what he loves about being an Imagineer. And he told the story. You have to appreciate that he told it over the course of 7 minutes maybe, basically of how he was the lead engineer on a ride, and he went to, I should preempt with, I should tell you this, that he didn't know this, and I found out later that his nickname at the office was Ice Chips, because he was cold and everything was, he's an engineer, so everything was exact and just sort of not the most emotional guy, so they called him Ice Chips. This was his nickname behind his back. Anyway, so I called on Ice Chips by accident, and he told the story of how they would design. There was a new ride that was opening that he was the lead engineer, and he saw a guy in a wheelchair and his daughter heading towards the ride to try it out for the first time. And one of the things that occurred to him was that anywhere else in the world, people see a guy in a wheelchair with his daughter. Only at Disneyland, the only thing people see is a father and his daughter going to Disneyland. And he says that's what it means to him to work for this organization, that it's about parents and children and family and brothers and sisters and boyfriends and girlfriends and husbands and wives and every combination of family that we can come up with, and that's all there is, just those relationships. And that's why everything was so exact to him. And in an instant, we're all crying, and it was a beautiful story, but in an instant, everybody understood why he was always so hard about everything, because to him, those were the stakes, that they had to make things that made people feel that they were just a father and the daughter, that nothing else mattered. It was pretty amazing. It was pretty amazing, and it gave everybody context. Everybody fell in love with him that day.